Device authoring and scaling. Apart from a device visibility, when editing elements that will be visible, for example, to a mobile portrait, scaling and responsiveness are also two important concepts to take into consideration. Now, the approach about responsiveness is that it's one way to make a site responsive would be to scale it down, namely to show the exact same content into the exact same order, but across different devices and, of course, smaller. We've chosen another way to make schools responsive, where we do not simply just scale things down, but we resize and reorder them to create an optimal experience for users on devices other than desktops and laptops. So in front of us, we have an example where we see some course cards, and you'll see that 3 course cards are shown in a row right here. Now, if you were to view this from a mobile, you would see something like this. And you see that instead of right next to each other, the courses are laying one before the other, one under the other. Now, we consider this approach to benefit the users greatly, as they do not need to zoom in and out of the site on their phone. That's something they would need to do if these columns were on the same row as they were on the desktop, but instead smaller and zoomed out. Now, of course, you can select different devices in authoring mode and edit the page's attributes from there. You can go to tablet mode, desktop, tablet landscape, portrait, and of course, phone, landscape, and portrait. So let's say that on the phone view over here, we want to actually change the image's size. All you need to do is select on the image, and then from here you can change the image's size. You can go over at the box model, change padding and margin options as well. Besides the images, you can also control the scaling of your text of the entire school by using the scaling option that you'll find at the far top over here. So let's say that for phone portraits, we want this to be on 70%. There you go. Now, what this means is that all text elements on your school, when viewed on a phone device, will be 70% of the size they are on desktop or laptop devices. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into these settings. Those previous options are set according to some popular resolutions used. However, the resolution of each device may vary. So in case you want to deeper check the appearance of a specific resolution of most used devices, you can also do that by right-clicking and selecting the inspect option. So let's do that. Let's close these off so we got some more room for the inspect options. And clicking right here is the different devices you can view it from. You can go back to what it was and change it from here as well. Now let's check out something different, and let's go back to desktop or laptop mode. This time we're going to check out visibility options to specific devices. Now keep in mind that even though the templates are responsive, the view that learners will finally get is also affected by their personal settings. For example, 2 learners may have the same device, however, one of them could set the display view as the standard or zoomed, while even the text size can also be customized for each device. So this would definitely lead to different views because of the user's settings. So what is device visibility? You can simply head over to the Actions tab and select exactly when a section will show and across what devices. So for instance, this section right here, you can see that all users may see it, logged out users, logged in users, or users with a specific tag. And of course, you can show exactly what devices, you can select exactly what devices it will show on. For instance, let's say that you have a rather big image that perhaps would not look as good on smaller scale devices such as a phone. All you need to do is just not show that image on phones and perhaps add a different version of it, maybe some text or maybe a different image to show for those device users. And now, of course, what you see over here is not necessarily exactly how your users are going to view the page, because again, they might have their own personal settings on their device. However, when making changes here in the authoring device, the authoring tool will represent an example of how your page will be viewed in common mobile screen sizes. So for instance, if a user has a wider mobile screen size, the elements of your page will adjust accordingly to facilitate user readability. And here are some final notes before we sign off. The smallest screen size in active user is currently an iPhone 5, which comes in at a 320 pixels wide. From there, most subsequent iPhone models toggle between 375 and 414 pixels wide, with increasing viewport sizes as you may move into Galaxy phones and tablets. However, if someone accesses your school on a mobile device, they can of course flip their screen sideways for a wider horizontal landscape view. Now, it is recommended to avoid inserting negative margins to widgets, as they will not automatically scale between different device screens.